hear the guy that did all those interviews with Ted Bundy say that once Ted Bundy actually started talking about his crimes in the third person, that his eyes would turn black?
Yes.
Did you guys ever hear that?
Yes. Fascinating.
Fucking crazy, dude.
What?
His eyes would turn black.
Let me see if I can find the clip of him talking. It was just,
yeah.
The guy was
he said, I mean, like, and he's not making it up. Like, I mean, you know, okay. So like my cat, right? I could tell exactly what my cat's going to do based on its eyes. And when it turns into predator mode, that's exactly what happens. Is like my cat's just chilling. It's got cat eyes. And then as soon as it's setting up to jump at somebody, its eyes turn completely black. And it's like,
so
you know, maybe
serial killer.
You know, maybe it's just the pupils just take over the whole eye, but his eyes would turn black every time he would talk about murders.
That is going to those hand gestures are going to haunt you for the rest of your life. He just did the
oh, did he?
they're gonna freeze that, be like, Jesse on fire, it's Illuminati.
We know.
Wait, what'd I do?
We know what you're doing.
You did the one eye with the 3 fingers.
Oh,
on.
this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're done. You're done. Stick a fork in you. It's over. Yeah. Good luck on that, dog.
That stuff is so dumb.
Yeah, but
the Illuminati, dude. That's hilarious. Jesse is a Satan worshiper.
Yeah.
I was literally,
It's so crazy. I'm like, dude, well, you're successful, so you have to be compromised.
That was in the Netflix documentary, by the way. If you want to see that about his eyes turning black, I think it's like interviewing a killer or something.
I think you're right. Yeah. If you know, it's that because I watched a couple of them. But Netflix has done some really good series like that. That one I really enjoyed. I like Don't Fuck with Cats. I fucking love that one,
dude. It's so good, isn't it? Oh
yeah. Evil Genius, phenomenal, dude. Have you guys watched? Have you watched Evil Genius?
Which one is that? Let me look it up.
About just look it up because you'll know instantly. It's about that woman who and you remember and it's the bank robbery and the guy was wearing the device around his neck and he's like,
yes, that's a wild one, dude. Oh,
that one's fucking awesome.
Yes,
that one is so good.
It's crazy. They just did one too about the. Like I think it's called like the greatest heist ever about those crypto retards that the girl who did the rap videos and her.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't think I watched that.
Yeah, it's came out maybe last year. It's remember what's her name, Sam? The rapping retard. That girl. You know, and then who's made off with all the Bitcoin. Billions in Bitcoin, and they weren't sure how to offload it, to clean it.
Yeah, it's a very famous story.
Yeah, they just did a Netflix documentary about it. It's pretty fascinating because they have connections to intelligence, which is interesting through his father, who was a hacker, like a really high level hacker. It's there's more to it than.
What about American Nightmare? Did you guys watch that one?
American Nightmare. It's funny the names are all kind of similar.
American Nightmare is the one where the chick, and then they thought it was a Gone Girl that she like kidnapped herself when she came back.
Yeah, that was a crazy story.
That one was fucking bananas. I told every single person they had to. I was like, I must have texted that to 100 people. I was like, dude, just whatever you're watching, stop and watch American Nightmare. I was like, it's 3 episodes. Just trust me.
That's
like, just watch that. It's
every episode ends with you thinking something else is happening, right?
Exactly. You think you have your arms wrapped around it at the end of episode 1. Yeah. And then at the end of episode 2, you're like, oh shit, I had this completely wrong. And then end of episode 3, you're like, oh my God. Yes. The whole thing. That one was so good, dude.
So there's a couple beliefs that we have as people. First one is if you make it to the hospital, you'll be okay. Just get to the hospital, you'll survive, right? And that's not always true. Sometimes you make it to the hospital and you die in the hospital.
What do you mean? Like if you're injured or something?
Yeah, you like if you're injured, you're sick. It's like just get to the hospital, and then if you get to the hospital, they're gonna save you.
Tell that to John Lennon.
Yeah, well, dude, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like, especially when my favorite part of the vaccine hesitancy people, they're like, oh, anti-vaxxer. Oh my God. Trust science. So many people are gonna die. You're like, you know that the number 3 cause of death is medical malpractice, right? Like you know that, right? You know that. So that's the notion. If you get to the hospital, you'll be safe. The other one is that cops are smart people, and they if you're innocent, you'll be fine. And that's not true at all. And the fact that they ran with a goat, I mean, like literally. They talk, hey, dude, I think this is a Gone Girl situation. And you're like, dude, you're a retard. Like, you think that's You think this chick kidnapped herself? I mean, and then once she produces that she's there, don't you go, okay, I guess that dumb idea was actually as dumb as we thought it was.
Sure.
Well, the thing is, like, there actually was a really famous case recently, and it was a Gone Girl situation. Like, it's exactly what it was. And I think that was that Utah woman, and she kidnapped herself, and she was hiding out like in her ex-boyfriend's trailer or something.
Is that Powers girl? Is that the Powers girl? Is that the Powers girl?
Hang on, the real life, dude. Do you know that? Speaking of Gone Girl, you know that that Gone Girl is based on the Lacey and Scott Peterson case. That whole movie and story is a fictionalized version of like down to so many minute details.
He looks like
it's based on Scott and Lacey Peterson, but it's a fictional version of what if Lacey Peterson actually framed Scott for her own murder. Like that's what Gone Girl is. It's fucking.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, watch it again. Like, watch the Scott and Lacey Peterson documentary on Netflix, and then go watch Gone Girl right after, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, it's everywhere, everywhere." That's not like a theory. That is for sure, 100% sure. That's exactly what it is.
So the Scott Peterson stuff is interesting because they say there's evidence that he didn't do it, and
yeah, I am not even remotely on board with that theory at all. He fucking did it, dude.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to have that conversation though. If you guys think that,
I'm just saying that there's like new evidence coming out, and that also the Menendez brothers, like it's coming out that you want to get into sex trafficking, that their dad was that monster. And
well, yeah, we know the dad was a piece of
scumbag. What was the Spanish singing boy band from back in the day?
The Menudos.
The Menudos. That he basically created them, and he was molesting and raping them.
Is that true?
Yes. And that is why the evidence coming out that, like, yeah, they killed him, but it wasn't about the money. It was about ending because the dad was still molesting the one brother.
Yeah, that's what the new Netflix stuff suggests is that he was abusing them. Yeah.
What about the fucking mom? They smoked the mom.
Yeah, that's what makes no sense. Yeah.
But I think she might have been in on it too.
Listen, the family's dead, but me personally, on them getting let out of jail, I have a problem with that. Just only because, like, dude, they walked in, they shot their mom's hand off with a shotgun after murdering their dad. She knew they were killing her, and then they fucking killed her with a shotgun. Their own fucking mom. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like,
dude, you gotta have it so cold. Like, I mean, it's gotta be a lead pipe cinch that they didn't do it for you to let those guys out. You gotta be certain.
Yeah, but
they definitely did it.
I'm not saying they should get out, but is there an argument that if these parents were involved in this high-end entertainment pedophilia stuff, that they were defending themselves against this abuse? Is there an argument for that?
That's what I'm saying. You'd have to prove that without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Because when that because what was definitely 100% happening is the older brother got kicked out of Princeton, and his dad was cutting him out of the will, and then a week later they fucking murdered him, and then got caught. And then they were like, yeah, he was molesting us. He made me suck his pee-pee. Like, fuck you. You know, I mean, who knows? Maybe they did. Maybe he did. The Menudos thing, I had actually read a little bit about that. Not enough because any way you slice it, I'm like, they still murdered their own mom with a shotgun. And the only thing that's up for conversation is, are they going to be let out of prison? And I like the idea of that being stupid because I like shitting on idiotic celebrities who are fucking advocating for capital murderers while they cry about fucking Me Too shit. You know, you're like, this is your big fucking issue. All these people that are in jail for life, and you pick the fucking Menendez brothers as your pet project. You know what I mean? But anyway, if you're talking straight Pizzagate shit, you can kill all those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And it's still funny because
you want to talk about what Tino was doing?
Yeah, that's what I want to get into.
Yeah, I'm putting in the chat the real life Gone Girl one I was talking about. You could take it. I just put it in the chat.
So yesterday, good friend of the show, been on it a bunch of times. If you ever see him on the road and you know him from the show, let him know you've seen on the show. Tino Sanchez.
Shout out Tino.
Tino's always like, hey, you remember me from the show? Tino Sanchez in a text thread with us from the show, and he was like, hey man, the Innocence Project, it just gets off guilty people, and I have, since my daughters have been born, I've been donating to the Innocent Project. In their name, I donate money to them because kind of, we had said this in the thread the other day. I'd rather you have a bunch of people doing life than one innocent person be put to death.
You mean you'd rather have a bunch of guilty people run free than have one innocent person who's wrongfully?
Well, I was going to get into that. Then extend that to that. So it's like, because you never know when that could be you.
Totally.
And his source for this was the Kelly Patrick show had someone on called Alex Welch who presented a few cases where he is convinced that.
I mean, what about the dude that went on Rogan on the Innocence Project and had just gotten out, and then he fucking decapitated and like cut the guy up like a month later and had him in the freezer.
Wait, he was on Rogan?
Yeah, that's a famous story. Joe Rogan had a guy come on talking
it's like a year ago.
How he's going to like defend, help people get out of jail that were innocent because he was in jail for something he didn't do. And then a month later, he murders somebody.
No, it's actually the guy that Rogan's had on from the Innocence Project a bunch of times. And I had actually watched a couple of those episodes, and like he told one story that was fucking crazy about this murder that happened. And it was this immigrant who got convicted of it, and that he had not done it. He looked so guilty. Like the case was so bad, but then they explained exactly how it was actually the daughter that did it, and he got him out of jail. And they were both Rogan and the dude were like crying. It's a fucking great episode.
I think it's someone called Sheldon
that
Johnson.
Dude.
Does that sound
what's
right?
that?
Sheldon Johnson. Does that sound right? This is
and that guy brought that dude on, who's someone he had just gotten out, who had he had been convicted of a crime that he said that he did commit, but he was a nonviolent kind of like participant in this thing and whatever. Anyway, he got out, and he's on there with Rogan. He has this conversation about the Innocence Project and how whatever it is. And a month later, the guy got caught having dismembered a victim. He had a beef with this guy in jail, right? Like he had a prison beef with this guy. This guy was a gang leader also, it turned out. And the Innocence Project got him out. And then he went to that guy over some like old school gangster shit. And he murdered the guy in his house, dismembered him, and then came back 7 different times in disguises to take pieces of his body out of the apartment. It's like the fucking gnarliest story ever, dude.
And it's just like, listen to how elaborate that plan was. Like if you had funneled that into anything else, what would your life be like? But even that, you go, here's the thing. So many people gotten off because of DNA analysis, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, this isn't his DNA.
Yeah.
And if someone gets out, someone could go in for something they didn't do, then get out and then commit some crime and have to go back in.
Yeah, it's also sloppy police work.
How about making a murderer?
Yeah.
That's the interesting question, because that.
Did you watch Candace Owens one? Documentary on it?
Here's my problem, and I'm a huge Candace Owens fan, and more and more and more and more stuff she does, more and more I like. I have a big problem with her take on it.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm very interested in this.
Because we do know they already framed him for something. So the precedence is there. For her,
and they had a massive incentive.
I mean, like, dude, just massive incentive. And
did you guys watch her entire documentary though?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't watch all of it. I watched a couple episodes. But
you got to watch the whole thing.
To me, there's a couple things. At the bare minimum, that kid is a retard.
Yeah.
Underage, should not have been interviewed without his parents, who probably are too dumb to even help him. But at least some sort of lawyer there.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And when you have guys going, listen, you tell us you did it, you can go home. And then they just get them.
I'm telling you, watch the entire thing that Candace did. Because I went into that documentary absolutely 100% convinced that he was innocent. That they framed him a second time.
What is
and
the
I walked out of that documentary 100% convinced that he's fucking guilty. And that kid is exactly where he should be also.
Okay. What were the informations what were the data points that you learned that changed how you look at this case?
A couple things. Number one, the women who did that Netflix documentary, they intentionally left out so much information that was fucking damning to their case. Because they straight up, when they got confronted with it, they admitted it. And they're like, listen, we're just trying to tell a story here. like indefensible shit that they left out. And I saw the rest of the fucking interrogation from that kid. And they're not fucking pushing him. He tells a story where Mike, like, what's the fucking guy's name? The main guy of Making a Murderer again?
Stephen Avery.
Stephen Avery, right. Where Stephen Avery, like I watched Making a Murderer. I'm like, these guys framed him again because they're going to be financially liable. They did it once. They did it again. You got to watched hers and also got way more background on who this guy, Stephen Avery, actually was and why they were so quick to believe that he did it is because he had a history of violence against women. The guy was a piece of shit. And like, so when you watch it again, I think, and what they presented it is that Stephen Avery sat in prison for 18 years. And he's like, I already did the time for a crime of rape and murder. And so when he got out, he's like, I'm getting that. Like, I earned that, dude. Like, he's a person who wants to like do that. And he's like, I already did the fucking time. They owe it to me. And the guy that, there's so much evidence. Like, there's so much evidence that they didn't put into the Netflix documentary of like just absolutely damning stuff.
The
dude.
biggest piece is the sweat. The sweat, right? The sweat on the
what's
hood.
that?
The sweat on the hood, I feel like, is the biggest piece that they left out of the Netflix documentary. That there was sweat of his that was found.
All the stuff about the burn pit is fucking horrendous for them. But the kid, specifically watching the kid in the interrogation, the part that they absolutely intentionally did not show in the documentary, where he admits to what he did, he's not fucking lying. Like, he's telling the truth. And basically what happened is Stephen Avery fucking kidnapped that chick. He got her to go there. They showed that Stephen Avery called her multiple times from different phone numbers, pretending to be other people because he wanted that girl specifically to come. And he got her and he tied her to a bed and raped her multiple times. Then he got the fucking 16-year-old who's a virgin and he brought him in and he showed her strapped to a bed naked. And he basically offered her up to the kid. The fucking kid fucked her probably for 1 second. You know what I mean? And then afterwards, Stephen Avery, that kid slit her throat, dude. That kid did that. And then Stephen Avery finished her off. It's like,
Johnny,
I came out of that thing so fucking mad at how completely skewed the Netflix documentary was. I'm like, how could they fucking do that? Like, how could they put out a multi-part series trying to paint that murdering rapist shitbag as a falsely fucking convicted person? It's disgusting. I don't know. I like watch the whole thing. I went again.
I'll have to watch it. I have to watch it.
I mean, you should it's interesting though, right? If you like that stuff.
That what you're saying is impossible. I'm definitely open-minded to it. It just seems like so much.
He would have had to clean up that whole scene though.
It's just so much like for me, it's like, okay,
there was no blood in that house.
This guy's whole job, okay, his whole job is working at a junkyard. Mm-hmm. He has this machine that flattens and destroys cars, but he takes it over here and he throws fucking twigs on top of it,
like a
and she walks right to it. Like, dude, I mean, he's dumb, but like, I don't know, man. If you tell Michael Jordan, dude, like, all you gotta do is hit this foul shot and all your problems go away, Michael Jordan's gonna hit that foul shot because that's in his DNA. If you go, hey, dude, I have this car that I killed this woman with, and I have this machine that flattens the car so much, no one's going to be able to know it's her fucking car. But the
reason for that, if I remember correctly, was because he had to wait until his family was not over at the thing when he was going to use to crush the car. I can't remember exactly. I mean, this is literally like a year ago or so when I watched it.
How did these guys who are functionally retarded though get rid? I mean, there was no evidence. There's so little.
Oh, they got caught instantly. That's the thing. That's the whole thing.
You have no problem with the people that aren't supposed to be there finding the key. Like they were supposed to be investigating that, and they made their way into a place that had already been scanned. And then suddenly there's like, whoa, look what I found.
I can't remember exactly. I haven't watched it like recently enough. It makes me want to watch it again because I'm not like. Well, you know what? I want to say, like, I'm not easily convinced, but I told you I went from 100% to 100%, so I obviously am very fucking easily convinced. But I came out of that just
I could be wrong.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
I felt mad that I had been manipulated by these fucking bitches at Netflix that completely fucking lied about the case. This is how I came out of it.
It's definitely a weird thing. It's again, and like Netflix is not above manipulation. Like we've talked about this. Like HBO never hides that, and this may shock you, Jesse, but we don't on this show. We don't necessarily know if Woody Allen did it.
Yeah,
and there's so much evidence to go, oh shit, we kind of just thought he did it based on his look. And there's been a mental manipulation through that picture of him walking with a little Asian girl, and everyone thinks that's Soon Lee.
Soon Yi,
and
yeah.
Soon Yi, and it's not Soon Yi. It's another Asian girl
It's his daughter.
Yeah, that's not Soon Yi. Soon Yi was not Woody Allen's daughter.
No, they never lived together in the same house.
She's brought in much later on. And like he brings up great points. Like he comes to this party and like he's gonna risk molesting her in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And we just simply convicted him because he looks like a creeper who couldn't get pussy.
And Mia Farrow's brother is a convicted pedophile.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And like, dude, she's crazy as shit.
Yeah. Oh, she's an insane person.
She asked for $4 million to make it go away.
Yeah.
Two of her
That
kids.
case, I can't, like, I remember trying to watch that documentary. It made me so uncomfortable. I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you have his own children who come out to defend him now. Like Moses Farrow talks about how Mia Farrow used to beat them with the phone and stuff like that. You know, there are a lot of questions about that.
But
anytime HBO makes a documentary, you got to have some questions about it. The other side.
100%. But what's very interesting is that yet again, this is an example, kind of going back to the Jay Z thing, like who's the real father? You know, Mia Farrow. It's so obvious that Ronan Farrow's father is Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, buddy, look at Roman Farrow and look at Frank Sinatra. They have the exact same face. That guy doesn't look anything like Woody
And
Allen.
blue eyes, yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Which is
I'm
getting
pulling it up now.
which is getting into something that me and Brad Binkley talked about yesterday. Look at that.
I mean, come on, dude.
I mean, it's the same fucking guy.
Or this guy right here.
Whoa.
Or this guy. What do you think? I mean,
Hey, I have an idea. You want to see the most obvious father-son ever that you guys are also very aware of? Look up fucking Fidel Castro and Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
If that's not his kid, I will literally smash my face into this table in front of you guys.
Please don't do that. But
Funeral.
we could
What
use
is
the
that?
views. It would go here. Yeah, look at that. I mean
it's obvious.
There, look at the
That
one of
one's
the
the
three
best.
side by side by side.
That's
It's
the
fucking.
best.
They are identical fucking twins, dude.
yeah. And this gets kind of into this thing that we
I mean, come on, dude.
yeah.
That's not his fucking dad.
yeah.
And his mom was a fucking prolific swinger who fucked everybody in the Rolling Stones. Like, come on, dude. That's his dad. And she's like, there's a known relationship between her and Fidel. There's pictures of her and Fidel walking around holding like linked in arms. Like, that's his kid, dude.
So this gets into this thing about, you know, when we always talk about the elites and how like, oh, they're so inbred because they just kept fucking each other. And I think that's a big lie. And I'm going to say something that's going to shock some people to the core. I think Princess Di was a whore. I
don't know anything about that
no,
whole
just
thing at all.
listen to me. Think about how we always get sold on a view of people. And how that view very rarely ever is that real person. I think Princess Di was that because I don't think either of her sons were from Charles. I think they're both from other men. Now, if you go and you look up the redheaded son, and I talked to Brad Binkley about this. You look at
Prince Harry you're talking about.
Prince Harry. That's not Charles's son. Go Prince Harry's real dad.
Why do you think not?
Well, look,
Is there someone he looks like?
yeah, go Prince Harry's real
He's got
dad.
those big dumb ears. that
Go
his father
Prince
would have.
Harry's real dad. Right? That guy, James Hewitt, looks
Right.
exactly like him compared to Charles. Okay?
I'm looking at a picture of Charles and the two sons right here. Here, let me send you this because, like, this looks. I mean, this looks.
No, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking
on, let
the
me send it
other
to you.
one is what's the other?
Harry and William.
You think Williams looks like him? And
It has both. It has the dad here. Look, I just sent it to you in the chat.
Right.
It's got the picture of both the sons with Charles in the middle. Like I could be convinced that these guys are his kids.
Yeah.
You know, but like, dude, Trudeau's supposed real dad does not even moderately fucking resemble.
Buddy, are you ready for who Prince William's dad really is?
Who?
The Rothschild that just died. The old man that
The one that burned up in the fire?
The one that Smithers is named after? Yeah, that's it right there. That's his real dad. That's his real father.
Do they have a photo of him before he was 100 years old?
Hang on for 1 second, you guys. What's up, baby?
Babe.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the mouth for sure.
Yeah, that's his real dad.
And the receding hair.
And the bald hair.
Yeah.
Dude, you have a jiu-jitsu tournament coming up.
So interesting.
Hey, mute yourself, buddy.
Oh, sorry about that, you guys.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah. What do you think? Okay, do you think that's part of kind of? Are they into free use or something? You know what I mean? Like, hey, all the women they get passed around.
What the elites do. Yeah. They all pass them around, and then whoever gets knocked up, you get knocked up, you raise that kid.
It's so curious because there's this idea that in early human days they would have the tribe all knock up the women because then the men were all invested in the outcome, of the child.
100%.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what the elites,
I mean, people been running trains forever, right?
You have a great way of boiling things down.
Everyone's been running trains forever, but it's like that's his dad. That's his real dad. And he doesn't look anything like his father. The other kid doesn't look anything like, and there's other guys that Harry looks like, but he doesn't look like Charles.
What's Oprah got to do with any of this?
Dude, I wish just once